Hey guys, Dean here from WealthTip. We're out for wealth is to trade, invest, and prosper. And today I just wanted to share a very quick thought with you guys in relation to the subject of standard of living and quality of life. Now, when it comes to these two things, a lot of people have difficulty distinguishing the difference between the two. And I want to give you guys a very simple explanation with regards to each of these subjects and what they really are. So on the one hand, we have standard of living. Now, standard of living is a means of measurement to determine your economic standpoint or your place within the economy. And it helps you measure your financial grounds. What are you capable of achieving financially? This is usually related to your income. It's related to your purchasing power. It's related to your assets versus your liabilities. And mainly anything that allows you to generate an income in that manner. Whereas on the other side, we have the quality of life. However, this is a bit more difficult to measure because it's not as straightforward as measuring standard of living. You see, quality of life within and of itself is happiness, joy, peace of mind, family, the ability to build relationships. There's such a large variety of things that makes up quality of life, because ultimately it's just measuring the quality of your life, not necessarily the financial aspect, but more so the community that you are in, the family that you have, the people that you surround yourself with, and the emotions that you feel when you're with those people. So when we look at these two components, one of the things that we have to always remember is that there is a very long spectrum, right? And on each side of that spectrum, let's say for example on this side we have standard of living, and on this side we have quality of life. What happens is we are always moving in between these two spheres. We're always trying to earn more money so that we can buy more things in the hope that it's going to increase our quality of life. But instead, what it in fact does, it does increase our standard of living. But the further we move to this side, it means that we're moving further and further away from this side, which means we're moving further and further away from the quality of life and closer to the standard of living. And usually what happens in this instance, the quality of life, your quality of life begins to suffer, because now in order for you to maintain the standard of living that you've built, you have to work harder, you have to work longer, you have to travel more, you have to go to more meetings, which means you no longer have the luxury of spending quality time with people that you love and enjoy being around. Whereas on this side, if you lean more closer or more aggressively towards the quality of life, your income begins to suffer and you no longer able to earn a specific amount of money, or you don't have the networking capacity to navigate your way through the field that you're an expert in, and as a result of that, you're stuck in a dead-end job. So in a sense, what we have here is two very closely correlated, but at the same time inversely correlated concepts. Now, the way that we're able to kind of combat these two things is by understanding the role that it has in our lives. For example, we do not want to be too far to making sure that we have a very high standard of living and as a result have a very low quality of life. And on the other side, we don't want to have such a high quality of life that we cannot grow our standard of living. What we want to do is we want to be dead center. We want to find ourselves in the center point of this particular spectrum. And the way we do that is by understanding that because we are trying to operate on both sides of the spectrum, we have to understand what is on each side of the spectrum. So on this side, we have quality of life. This has to do with us. This has to do with you as an individual, as a person, and what makes you happy, what makes you excited, what makes you inspired. And once you can identify the things that makes you inspired, happy, and joyful, then you need to press into that. You need to invest in that. You need to do more of that. And by doing so, this is where you usually find your passion, where you usually find your purpose. And then you need to be able to develop the skills, which is more on this side, which is the standard of living, you develop the skills, the unique ability to monetize those things that you're passionate about. And when you're able to monetize what you're passionate about, then you end up being here, because now you end up doing what you love, and you end up being who you enjoy being, and being around people you enjoy being, without compromising the financial component of this entire analogy. And so the goal here is to literally operate in the center of this particular spectrum, and that's what we're trying to achieve, and that's what we're trying to push forward with. And when it comes to trading, for me, that is my center point. It is when I'm able to interact with people that has the same amount of drive and passion and fascination with the subject of trading as I do. And it centers me to a point where I can monetize that skill, not only from being able to participate in the markets, but also teaching people to participating in the markets with me at the same time. So guys, I really do hope that this little mini lesson gave you some idea of what it is that you want to do, and how you can center yourself on this spectrum that we have between standard of living and quality of life. For the most part, have an awesome day, have a brilliant week, and I look forward to chatting to you all soon. Up until then, keep well, and bye for now.